was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I had just married Jake, the man I believed was my soulmate. Our wedding was beautiful. Outdoor ceremony, string lights, laughter. My mother crying as I walked down the aisle. Everything was perfect. Or at least, I thought it was. A few weeks after the wedding, we received our official video. It was beautiful, just like the day itself. We posted a short highlight reel on TikTok and Instagram, thinking it would only be seen by family and close friends. But the video blew up. Thousands of views turned into hundreds of thousands. The algorithm took over, and suddenly strangers were congratulating us. The internet, for once, felt like a warm place, until someone left that comment. Wait, what's happening at 3:47? Is the groom handing something to that woman? I didn't think much of it at first. Probably just a confused viewer. But then another person replied, "Yeah, I saw that too. Kinda sketchy TBH. Curiosity got the better of me." I clicked the timestamp. The scene was during the reception. Jake was laughing with guests, glass of champagne in hand. But then, just in the corner of the frame, there it was. He slipped a small piece of paper to a woman. She was tall, wearing a dark green dress, and she looked startled. Then she quickly turned her face from the camera and walked away. My heart skipped a beat. I watched it again, then again. I zoomed in, slowed it down. Jake clearly looked at her, nodded slightly, then passed her something discreetly. Why? Who was she? I paused the video and stared at her face. Something about her looked familiar, even though I couldn't place it immediately. I took a screenshot and sent it to my best friend, Lily. She called me right away. "Emily, that looks like Maria." My stomach dropped. Maria, Jake's ex-girlfriend. The one he said he hadn't talked to in years. The one he swore was completely out of the picture. She was at our wedding? Jake had told me they had broken up cleanly. He even said she moved away to another state. So why was she at our wedding? Why did he hand her something? And why did she look scared? Lily and I spent the next few hours going down a rabbit hole. We rewatched the full video frame by frame. Maria appeared only for a second, but it was enough. I checked our guest list. No Maria Reynolds. She wasn't invited. She wasn't even supposed to be there. Suddenly, my perfect day didn't feel so perfect anymore. It felt staged, like a lie. I sat in the dark that night, phone in hand, staring at that one still image. Jake passing a note to a woman he claimed he hadn't seen in years. I didn't know what hurt more, his secret or the fact that a total stranger noticed it before I did. And deep down, I knew. This was just the beginning. Something was very, very wrong. I didn't say anything to Jake that night. Not because I wanted to protect him, but because I needed time. I needed to understand what I was looking at. I needed to be sure before I confronted the man I had just promised forever to. The next day, I told Jake I wasn't feeling well and stayed home from work. I spent the entire day piecing things together, slowly, methodically. I went through every second of the video. I scoured social media posts from that night, and I even messaged our videographer to see if he had any extra footage. He did. And in that raw, unedited version of the reception video, I saw more than I bargained for. At minute 12:03, I saw Maria again, this time clearly. She wasn't just passing by. She was sitting at a table near the back, drinking wine and watching Jake, like she was waiting for something. At 15:18, Jake walked over. They didn't talk. He just slid something under her napkin. She looked up, right at the camera for a split second, and then got up and left. My chest tightened. I called Lily. I couldn't breathe. She said, "Emily, I don't think she just showed up. I think he invited her." It made no sense. Why would Jake do that? Why lie? Unless he never really let her go. I knew I had to talk to Maria. I didn't want drama. I didn't want a scene. I just wanted the truth. I found her Instagram easily. Her profile was private, but her bio listed a photography portfolio link. Through that, I found her business email. I wrote a short message. "Hi Maria, I know this is awkward, but I saw you in our wedding video. I need to talk to you. Please." She replied within an hour. "Emily, I've been waiting for this. Let's talk. Please don't hate me." That one sentence wrecked me. Please don't hate me. Why would I hate her unless we agreed to meet at a coffee shop the next morning? I barely slept that night. When I saw her, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked tired, anxious. She sat across from me, and before I could even speak, she said, "I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I shouldn't have gone." But he asked. He begged. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She told me Jake had reached out to her 2 months before the wedding, said he needed closure, that he wanted to talk. Just once. They met for coffee, then again, and again. The night before our wedding, he asked her to come, said he'd leave something for her, a note, a room key, and she went. Maria broke down crying. I know it was wrong, but I loved him once, and seeing him again, he made it sound like you were the mistake, not me. I felt like my entire life was folding in on itself. He had cheated on me, on our wedding night. I asked, "Did you stay with him that night?" She didn't answer right away. Then she nodded, and that was it. The moment everything shattered, the flowers, the vows, the speeches, the dancing, it all became meaningless. When I got home, Jake was watching TV. He looked up and smiled. "How was your day, babe?" I stared at him, wondering how he could lie so easily. "I ran into someone today," I said. "Maria." His face went white. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. And that's when I knew. He was guilty. Every instinct, every fear, every whisper in my mind had been right. And I realized the comment under our wedding video hadn't ruined my marriage. It had saved me from living a lie. That night, I didn't say a word. Not because I was scared, because I was numb. My heart was beating so fast I felt like a stranger in my own body. My stomach churned. All those romantic vows, the wedding cake quote, my family's tears. How much of it was real? How much was a performance? The next morning, while Jake was at work, I didn't pack my bags. Number that wouldn't be my first move. I wasn't going to run. I wasn't going to stay silent. Not this time, because this time I wouldn't just be the victim of the story. I was going to be the one telling it. First, I spoke with a lawyer. I showed her the video clips, the hotel evidence, Jake's messages, everything. She said I had a strong case to file for divorce under adultery and emotional distress. But before I went down that road, I did something else. I replied to the comment. Yes, that comment. The one that started it all. At 3:47, that woman is my husband's ex, and they were together at the hotel that night. I'm going to tell my story. Then I recorded a video. I sat on a chair, not crying, not screaming, just shaking a little. My voice trembled, but I looked straight into the camera. My name is Emily. I got married 6 weeks ago. Maybe you saw the wedding video. It went viral. What you didn't see is what happened behind the scenes. I told the truth, calmly. From the moment I noticed the woman in the video to the confrontation with Maria, I didn't dramatize it. I didn't insult anyone. I just spoke the facts. That's when the messages started flooding in. Thousands of people, strangers, sent support. Women wrote about their own betrayals. Men messaged me saying, "He didn't deserve you." Somehow, through all this pain, a community formed. A place where betrayal didn't mean silence, it meant solidarity. Jake came home later that night, his face pale. "You made a video?" "Yes," I said. "And I'm going to keep posting." "I'm getting harassed, Emily. People are messaging me nonstop. My company just put me on leave." "Maybe you should have thought about that," I replied, "before handing a note to your ex at our wedding." The legal process began. Jake tried to deny it at first, but the evidence was airtight. The hotel camera footage, Maria's check-in record, even an anonymous email she sent me that read, "After all these years, I realized I still loved him. But watching him marry you, that broke me too. I never meant to hurt you. She never meant to hurt me. But they did. Together." The media picked it up. One morning, I opened the door to a local reporter. "Emily, your video has reached millions. Can you tell us more about your channel, Bride Betrayed?" "Yes, I launched my own channel. The first video was called, 'There Were 3 of Us at My Wedding.' I told everything. Not with tears. Not with rage. Just truth. Because truth, when spoken, heals. When silenced, it rots. Months passed. Jake lost his job. Maria, I heard, moved to another state. And me? I'm still in the same apartment, sitting in the same chair. But now I'm stronger. I talk to hundreds of people who message me every week. My channel is growing. That's why I named it Bride Betrayed. Because we weren't just abandoned. We were lied to, manipulated. But we're done being quiet. Jake still texts sometimes. Can we talk? I don't reply. I'm not his secret. I'm not his second chance. I'm the author of this story now. And in my story, the hero doesn't forgive betrayal. She moves on.